nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll again.
Roll. Ramkasoon. Here. Tobin.
Here.
Kleiner.
Still here.
Johnson.
Here.
Jean-Francois.
Here.
Burr, absent. Green.
Here.
Massey.
Here.
President Rodriguez.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Correspondence?
Nothing this evening.
For the good of the city, anyone would like to speak on behalf of the good of the city?
Sorry, there's nobody on.
Okay, thank you. Remarks of the mayor?
Good evening. I would like to just report that we did have a successful pod vaccine site at the Mulberry House this past Saturday. And these are what these pods are. They're last-minute locations that are set up through New York State. And it was a combination of local city signups, which we used our senior list primarily, and notifications to different churches and business leaders, and then we had 50 vaccines allocated to the city, and there were 150 vaccines allocated to a group called Rural Ministries. We ended up getting an additional 30 to 40 vaccines at the end, so we had a standby list. So I want to thank all who were able to come down on the standby list. And we understand that there is a lot more demand for the vaccine than we have. And there are calls for us to have Middletown locations. There are Middletown locations. You have Garnett, which is basically the city, but these are by appointment. You have Cornerstone is doing vaccines. Union Street, it's called Sun River. Online, if anyone needs assistance in signing up for any of those, you should contact my office or contact the Senior Center directly. We're providing assistance to those who have trouble or don't have access to internet, and we want everyone to get a vaccine. The good news coming from today, though, is that President Biden has announced that by the end of May, everyone who wants a vaccine should be able to get a vaccine because of the deal they made between Johnson & Johnson and Merck. Two competitors, Merck will be producing the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So our role is to encourage people, if you are medically cleared to do so, to please get the vaccine. There are more vaccines rolling into our area, into our county. County Executive Newhouse announced last night that there will be additional vaccines through the county. Our senior list does go to the county. So if you're on that, we have signed you up for it. And but we understand the frustration that many of you have, but we don't control how many vaccines come into the community. We only control, to a certain extent, the calls that are made. And some people miss the call, and especially on the standby, we have to move on to the next person. So it's complicated, but it's going to get better. And we just ask for everyone to please continue trying. I know we signed up 2 people at CVS in Greenville Lake today. So if you go on the cvs.com, there's a mechanism for doing it. There are more pharmacies are going to be having vaccines. So just in New York, ny.gov is the state site. There may be a state site added to the Kingston area that will create more opportunities for more vaccines. So if you're a senior and you need transportation to Garnett or to the county site in Goshen, we will provide it for you. Our senior bus will bring you down, but you need to call the senior center and coordinate with them. My only other issue, excuse me, tonight is the warming center. As you know, I thought we were moving quite quickly, and I gave breakdowns, and we ended up getting a bid for $885,000, which we had to reject, so that we would not meet our January goal. Unfortunately, over the weekend, And I don't know who placed this in people's doors, but it's very unfortunate that someone would do that, but trying to scare people in the neighborhood around the temple with a lot of false information. And it's titled, "It Ain't Over Till It's Over." And it reads, "It appears that lies and deceptions are part of the repertoire of elected officials. Albany comes to Middletown as it is now learned that the relocation of the warming station at the temple is not going to happen. This despite a so-called $250,000 appropriation, and in parentheses, without voter approval. The company line is now accepted bids and COVID-related restrictions. This has been there since August, and it can't be done. Problem is, this was the wrong plan, and simply more cost-effective measures should have been adopted. As for our two elected aldermen, one is a messenger of disinformation, and the other is part of the problem. Remember, these two bozos are running for re-election in November. If you want to address your concerns, then contact the mayor, they leave my number, Senator Martucci, and New York State Attorney General Letitia James, with a welcome to Middletown at the bottom. This is, when we run for office, we expect some misinformation. But the misinformation is not on behalf of the city. It's on behalf of the person who wrote this and didn't sign it, yet distributed it. And it's unfortunate, the name calling. I had to commend Andrew and Jerry for their communication throughout the process and their assistance in getting this new location at the old Mulberry Street, the quickness, the way the council moved to appropriate the money. The $250,000 is federal money, so we had to go through a process. We can't just take federal money and spend it without doing bidding. And we did bid the project. It came out to $880,000 with one bidder. And so we pulled the project back in. We did not award it. We then broke the project up through community development, who usually does our housing rehabs. And we were able to come to the council for an additional $50,000, which Jerry and Andrew supported and were able to push through. And we began, and I reported this at previous meetings, so the writer either is not watching the meetings or is just outright lying about the progress being made at Mulberry House. But the HVAC system is complete. The general contractor, the electrical work is also underway, and the plumbing work is also underway. And this has all been reported publicly, so it's a despicable lie, it's deplorable, it's a scare tactic. I hope it's targeting my comments primarily to the people in that neighborhood that receive this, that they don't deserve this type of information going out to them. Tonight we will be awarding the general contractor amount in the amount of $29,880. The acoustical ceiling in the amount of $13,300. And the flooring amount in the amount of $6,740. Indoors maximum will be $39,750, which is replacing 24 doors at a unit price of $1,656.25 each. We won't be replacing all the doors. So this project, in order for us to have the warming center move in, will be moving ahead quickly. In fact, the demolition has begun. The work has, because we had to get some demolition done for the HVAC people. So it's moving as quickly as we can. But the delays are not due to anyone lying or anyone misrepresenting. And I would welcome the applicant, or the person who wrote this, to come here publicly. And I would like to question him about his sources of information, about public bidding, his comments in his memo to these folks are outrageous, and find out what the source of his information is. So the money, as I said, is being spent appropriately. This is part of the CARES Act funds, and that the Community Development Office followed every procedure, every step, including verifying with HUD that this would be an eligible item, both verbally and in writing. So if any of the neighbors have any concerns, you can contact your alderman. If you want, you can call my office at 346-4100, or you could call me and I would be more than happy to give you a tour of the site as work is in progress, and you can see for yourself that what was put on your door is a lie. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Any questions for the mayor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Remarks of department heads, DPW Commissioner.
Good evening, all. Just to report to you about the condition of our department, DPW, we have a lot of people, unfortunately, out on COVID related infection, including the deputies. So we're quite a bit understaffed, but so far the level of service provided is maintained by DPW. And hopefully they'll be back very soon, and we keep checking on them, and I wish them a speedy recovery, all of them, including some of our foremen in the water department, some of the skilled labor, some people in sanitation. So we're really hurting, but including the administrative staff. We're hurting, but so far, the quality of the work has not been compromised. The 24-inch water main coming from the filter plant down along Manhagan Avenue is ready to start this month, hopefully in 1 week, weather permitting. The traffic operations, our consultant submitted, hopefully it's going to be the final iteration of revision for the traffic operations, which is the $21 million project. Most of it is grant, hopefully 95% of it is grant. So we are hoping to start the construction, bidding at least in April. So we're pushing as fast as we can. And before you, there are several resolutions for DPW in there, DPW that's involved in them. I'll be happy to answer any questions once we get to them, if you have any questions regarding that.
Jacob.
With that, I will conclude my remarks. Yes, sir.
Wolf Slayer Park.
We're going to be doing the deep soil exploration with the geotechnical. You guys approved the geotechnical engineer, so that's a matter of scheduling it with the project architect and to try to come up with some kind of resolution how to deal with the fill material in there, which, like I said before, hopefully it's going to be just some kind of city saying that we do expect some settlement over the long term with the track and with the field itself, so that the contractor can proceed doing his work with minor reinforcement. So that's where we are.
Alderman Green.
Thank you, Commissioner. I've been getting a few questions about the sanitation plan. Do you have any kind of timeline that we're looking at with the new trucks and cans and things like that?
The what? I'm sorry, about what?
The sanitation plan for the garbage pickup and that with the
Yeah,
arm
the
trucks
mayor,
and that?
the mayor, next council meeting, the mayor will update you on that. The cans, they're ready to be deployed.
Okay.
We're expecting to do that sometimes this month.
Oh, wow.
But the mayor in the next council meeting will address all that. They're all ready to ship almost.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, the trucks are not going to be here until October, but at least the cans will be there, and there's going to be some strong enforcement and all that stuff. The mayor will get into all that, and myself, next council meeting, hopefully we can address all that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
John Francois.
Yes, it seems like we're doing pretty good with the loader behind the truck, because I watched those guys many morning, and with the loader, they just bring the can and be able to lift. So I don't see any lifting doing by our workers, which is a good thing.
Exactly. Once we have those cans, right now, very few homes, they bought them on their own that will fit on our tipper at the back. So there isn't going to be a manual in there. But I've been taking some video in there, documentation, and going after our sanitation trucks and showing how people are. I mean, there's usually one can, and around it, all kinds of small ShopRite plastic bags. It's like a pyramid built around it. So our guys will have to go push it apart, push the small bags aside, dump the one can, bring the can back, fill the small bags inside the can, then take the can back to the truck and come back again. And with that, all that exposure, we had one of our guys cut his finger. He had to go to the emergency room because of that. So all this is going to have to be real strong code enforcement in there. So none of this is going to be tolerated anymore once we distribute the can. And that's what the mayor and I will address hopefully next council meeting. But yes, it should be much easier.
Thank you,
Once
Commissioner.
we have the people just abiding by the rules, which is basically no small garbage cans or small plastic bags all over the place. Just put it in one can.
Thank
Jacob,
you.
talking about garbage, bulk pickup is after Easter? We're gonna start after Easter?
You mean the spring cleanup?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't set it up yet, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll have to accommodate Mother's Day and spring and the. That's the last thing right now, unfortunately, with COVID, with so many casualties of COVID, including my deputies and all that stuff. But we will get it scheduled, yes.
Okay, thank you, Jacob.
Yep.
Fire chief?
Good evening. To date, we've responded to 115 alarms. We had one structure fire about 2 weeks ago up on Watkins Avenue. Everybody was fine. A couple of people had smoke inhalation, but turned out to be okay. Still under investigation. And just to let everybody know, about 75 to 80% of the first responders have received their first shot. Probably 40% of them received their second shot already. So that's going pretty well. Any questions?
Chief, the fire parade this year.
It's looking very glim. We've gotten responses back from neighboring departments that they will not commit at this time, and they're looking in July to commit. We can't wait till July to set up a parade.
No.
So I actually spoke with Councilman Green last night. We were running some ideas. Maybe the city will just hold a parade. We'll invite some first responders.
We can put a committee if you want.
What's that?
We'll do a committee.
We can do that because we are looking to boost some morale around here.
Got it.
So let's start a committee and let's get on it.
Question. I was out today and I noticed near me there's a house that had a truck went on fire and
I could barely hear you.
I'm sorry. I was out walking around today and I noticed there was a street nearby me that I guess a truck went on fire and like melted the siding on a house and there was some fire damage. I was just curious. Is there a certain amount of time that they have to fix that, or is it just
That's not up to us. That's actually up to the homeowner and the insurance company.
Oh, okay. But all right. In your experience, does it usually get fixed pretty quickly, or
No.
No. All right.
No.
I see.
Again, it's up to the homeowner, the insurance company, how they're going about it. Once the fire's out, the emergency's over, we're packed up and we're leaving. We turn it over to building inspector, code enforcers.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Thank you,
Okay,
Chief.
Thank you.
Police chief.
Good evening. Before you this evening is the continuation of our police panel. It's actually the final stage of whether we adopt the ideas that we put before you last meeting or not. I'll take questions on any of that if there's any follow-up questions that anybody may have in regards to the panel. With nothing, I'd just like to thank all the participants that participated in the panel. They put in a tremendous amount of time and effort between the 3 meetings, follow-up conversations, emails, one-on-one meetings, whatever it may be. The same with some of the residents of the community that actually reached out and either by email, telephone, or even came in and sat with me to discuss some of the concerns. At the end of the day, I felt that we put a lot of effort into it amongst everybody involved. And the things that we walked away with, those takeaway items, none of that could have been done without your support, the support of the mayor, with the support of the police commission, because a lot of them came with a cost. So without your support, we couldn't have implemented some of them, specifically the body cameras, in such a short period of time. So thank you for that, and I feel like we're going in the right direction. I think that highlighted the whole process, that we are moving in the right direction. It's great to hear the concerns and the ideas of our community, and making sure that we are meeting their needs. Any other questions?
Any questions? Alderman John Francois.
Yes, the body cams, are they being active right now? Are they helping your department?
Yes, they were fully implemented the beginning of January. So all patrol officers do have them. They utilize them on a daily basis. Policy procedures in place. They're reviewed as per policy and procedure. And so far, so good. I think it's a learning curve. The officers have to become comfortable with them. We have to utilize them as a tool to make sure that the department is protected at all times.
Thank you.
Anyone else for the chief? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Corporation Counsel.
I don't have anything unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for our Corporation Counsel? All right. Remarks of Alderman. Alderman Massey.
Nothing this evening.
Alderman Tobin.
Just that, hopefully I can almost see the spring. It's right around the corner. I'm looking forward to the warmer weather and the lower heat bills, so let's think positive.
Alderman Green.
Thank you. We did have a meeting of the Planning and Economic Development Committee this evening, reviewing a subdivision that we're just waiting on a little more information on before we schedule a public hearing. Also, Mayor, I want to thank you for addressing the letter that was passed around. I won't give it much more attention than it deserves, being it is full of misinformation, unfortunately. I know everyone who's reached out to me, and I verify the information with you that I've spoken with, and we've been very forward and, looking forward to this good outcome for everyone in it. And I'm sure that's coming soon. And I'm very happy to hear the updates this evening. Everyone just please keep being masked up and social distance, and good news always seems to keep coming with the vaccines and that. So, spring may be around the corner, like Alderman Tobin said, and hopefully there are going to be brighter days. Thank you.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. With respect to the warming station correspondence, I think it speaks for itself. It's unfortunate, and I'm glad it was addressed. The Legislative Committee met earlier this evening. We made some zoning changes. We'll have a public hearing at the next meeting, which will be on March 16th. I know you want to keep up to date on the animal world and COVID, so I want to remind you that recently some of the gorillas at the San Diego Zoo were diagnosed positive with the mutant strain, which was contracted from one of the handlers. And in the regulatory agencies reported that to date, there have been 3,600 animals tested in this country. 131 of them tested positive, including dog, cat, mink, tiger, lion, snow leopard, and now gorilla. You'll be happy to know that the elderly gorilla named Winston, who had pneumonia and congestive heart failure, was successfully stabilized with antibiotics, heart medications, and monoclonal antibodies that were made available to him. So I'll send him your best wishes. Thank you.
Alderman Rackison.
As it is always impossible to speak after Alderman Johnson, I have nothing this evening.
Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you. I also want to thank the mayor. I was going to read that letter. I thought it was too good not to read, but I didn't remember to bring it, so I'm glad he did. Andrew and I just want to know who's bozo number one and which one's bozo number two, so we can be clear on that. We're hoping next month the weather will be warm enough so we can resume having our constituents meetings and, have them outside, and that there'll be a lot more vaccine, and it'll be much safer, but we not going to do that yet, but hopefully next month. And my wife and I got our first dose last week at the county down on Hatfield Lane, and the Orange County Health Department was there, and I just want to commend the people from the health department who were there, because they were really wonderful. They were in great spirits. They were very helpful, and it was a really good operation. So I want to send some thank yous to them. Thank you.
Alderman John Francois.
Nothing this evening.
New business.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey. Resolution to amend Resolution Number 160-20 to authorize the treasurer to transfer an additional $240,000 from the water fund balance to purchase of land water fund, and authorize the treasurer to appropriate the funds necessary to pay for the purchase price of $500,000 in order to close on the subject property.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, second by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Lamb Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin. Resolution to declare a 2000 Ford pickup from DPW vehicle surplus.
A resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, seconded by Alderman Massey. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green. Resolution to award the bids for street materials.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green, seconded by Alderman Kasoon. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson. Resolution to renew a contract with Cherry Road Technologies, Inc. for information technology support services for the city.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Alderman Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderwoman Ram Kasoon. Resolution to approve an agreement with Pets Alive.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kasoon, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Jean Francois. Resolution to authorize the mayor to sign the Title 3B Transportation Agreement with Orange County.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, second by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner. Resolution to authorize the treasurer to transfer $82,986.30 within the 2021 budget to cover the exclusion of the 2014 bond interest due in 2021.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Kasoon. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey. Resolution to authorize the treasurer to transfer $2,425.92 within the 2020 DPW budget to cover payment of chemical purchases.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, second by Alderman Johnson. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner. Resolution of an addition to the AAA transportation contract with the county providing an additional $3,386 to the existing agreement and request authorization for the mayor to sign.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Tobin. Any discussion? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner. Resolution to hereby ratify and adopt a plan for police force deployment, strategies, policies, procedures, and practices as per the Governor's Executive Order Number 23.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Kleiner.
I thought it was 203. Am I wrong?
It's 203.
What?
203.
Okay, it is in the resolution, not on here. Sorry.
It is in the resolution.
Okay.
Okay.
So we got a motion by Alderman Kleiner, seconded by Alderman Green. Any discussion? Alderman Johnson.
I just want to reiterate that I hope the document will be something that will be reviewed on a regular basis as we move forward. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Jean Francois. Resolution to authorize the Commissioner of Public Works to use his best judgment in adding temporary part-time employees or hire private contractors to effect the clearing of sidewalks or cutting and clearing of vegetation from private locations that are in violation of city code.
I got a resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion?
Yes.
Alderman Massey.
I gotta put my glasses on because I think I heard something wrong.
What did you hear?
Here we go.
Temporary part-time employees or hire private contractors to effect the cleaning of sidewalks. I was under the impression that when we met as a committee, that we took out the hiring part-time employees, and I can go down a list of the reasons why, if anyone needs it. But I'm obviously in favor of the private contractors. I'm not in favor of hiring temporary part-time employees. We would have issues of liability. We would have issues of, they would be on our payroll, and the downtime. Like I say, I thought out of the committee went along with the agreement that it would be hiring outside contractors. So I'm certainly not in favor of it as it's written. I have no problems if it wants to be changed.
Anyone?
I mean,
Alderman John
we,
Francois?
all due respect, we did have the conversation, but you got to realize every season is different. If we have a dry season, the grass is not going to be so high. So why are we hiring a private contractor to come in and do our job while the part-timers could do the
No,
job?
you're missing the understanding of a private contractor. Private contractor is there, used when needed. We don't pay them when there's nothing. You just made a perfect reason for not hiring part-time employees, because you're right, we may not have any grass to mow, or we may not have any violations, so now you have people on our payroll. The private contractor is only used when needed. Jacob would then say, all right, we have this many properties that need to be mowed or shoveled. Go out and do it. That's the only time there's any money exchanged. Private contractor, we don't hire them when there's no reason for them to do any duty. So you made a perfect example was why we don't hire part-timers.
For the same reason with the snow, if we have a lot of snow, we might not be able to get private contractors.
I don't.
We try it. If by some chance it doesn't work, then they can come back. But I can't imagine you're not going to be able to hire private contractor to shovel sidewalks. They'd be more than happy to.
Alderman Kleiner?
Yes, Commissioner, could you comment on the giving you the authority, use your best judgment, what exactly a temporary part-time worker would do, and if that's beneficial to you to be able to do that?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's basically, we discussed this during the committee meeting. It's like New York City does. In New York City, when you have a massive or snow event, they hire a lot of people in there, they give them shovels and they go shovel the sidewalks and all that stuff. Alderman Jude's point is, when you have a massive or when you have a snow event in there, everybody's busy plowing, especially this year. All private contractors, they are busy. So we added this, giving me the ability to hire part-timers so that we don't fall in our face, that nobody's picking up the phone. You pick up the landscapers and said, hey, can you guys give me a price for this and this? He said, hey, we're stretched too thin already because the snow is coming day after day after day and we can't meet our obligation to our clients. So you guys come to Jacob, how come the sidewalks are not shoveled? Well, because even the private contractors are not available. Our guys, they barely can manage our own properties. So we added that cushion in there to allow us to bring part-time employees in there to do the shoveling, just temporary, like New York City does, like all big cities do. When the things comes, it comes at the same time. There's no way we can maintain a staff to handle all the sidewalks all at the same time. And the same thing like the council president, at the beginning of every growing season, he gets very upset because some grass is very high and we can't catch up with it. The same story. We'll try to get a private contractor to do it. If we can't, maybe we can try to hire part-timers in there to try to help us out in there. Maybe the combination of both. That was my understanding of the meeting. Maybe I misunderstood it. And you guys tell us what you want. We'll be happy to do it either way. We'll try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I agree. My understanding was that we were just adding the ability to hire private contractors to your already existing ability to hire temporary part-time workers. So that was my understanding. I didn't think that was something new that we were doing. So I trust your judgment on that.
Thank you.
Alderman Tobin?
I agree with Alderman Massey. I clearly remember we said not part-timers. Not that's your only power, but that if we get like 5 big snowstorms in the year, 2 might happen in December and then 3 might happen in March, would the part-time be hired for the entire winter or?
No.
No,
just for the duration.
The question is, so to hire someone, then they have to fill out the paperwork and be approved and interview, so we're not handling out shovels and having them sign papers, right? It would take some time to become a part-time. Would it be on call, I guess, or? No,
at least you have that option. That's the whole point. We'll go hire private contractors to come and do it. Suppose, like I said, the scenario is when it rains, it pours, and everybody's. I'm sorry.
My only other worry is that the part-time workers would start doing other work as opposed to just being hired temporarily.
Oh, there's only $10,000 in the whole budget. How much can you do?
Alderman Rackers,
The only thing, when I read this is about people who are not shoveling their walk after 24 hours after the storm. 24 hours after the storm, these private contractors are doing the work during the storm. So by the time we need them to go and do the work, they're not busy anymore. Right. So I don't know. I've always been under the impression that we should be able to rotate this around almost like the tow list, where you sign on, you want to be one of the people we call, and if you're not available, we go to the next person on the list, and that rotates around, and you get assigned your work until we're not. I don't think that we have guys that are so stacked for work once the storm is over that we won't be able to get that work done. That's just, I thought, my interpretation of this entire conversation was that we weren't going to have to put the burden on the city to do this work, that if you're in violation, the company comes out and will recoup that money through that violation, and that it's taken care of in itself. So I would be okay with amending the resolution from the floor to remove that part.
Alderman Johnson.
I guess we're going down memory lane. So if I remember correctly, it's like a bad mystery show.
2 weeks ago.
But this conversation started with mowing lawns.
Yes, it did.
And the commissioner said, we don't have enough people on staff to send them out to mow all these lawns. So we need to have private contractors to mow the lawns. Then we changed seasons and we moved to the snow conversation. I think for me, the key in this particular resolution is his best judgment, and I trust the judgment of the commissioner. If you want to override that and take out part-timers, I said he's fine with that, but I think he's giving a compelling explanation to say, if we're in a bind, then we'll just be stuck because you haven't given me any other options or any other cards to play. So, but I'll go along with the group. Thank you.
Alderman Green.
Thank you. I'd just like to point out, I think, Alderman Kleiner, you hit the nail on the head there where you said he already has the commissioner already has the power to hire a temporary workers if need be, as we have now, is my understanding. So this is just adding to that we can go and branch out and get private contractor. Is that correct? Am I correct in assuming that? I mean, you can hire a temporary worker for DPW, correct?
No, I can't. You give me a budget.
Right. Yeah.
My annual budget
Within
is
the
says 2 part-timers in this location, 2 part-timers in this location. I can't go hire anybody I want.
Okay.
I don't have an open.
Oh, right,
You
right,
guys
right.
authorized me with my budget, with the number of part-time employees. I can't go. In an emergency, I can do it, yes. Emergency, but this is not an emergency to go shovel sidewalks.
Right,
I don't
correct.
have that authority.
Correct. Yes. No, I understand that, but that's, but I'm just saying in budget times, you could potentially ask for a budget for another temporary person if you came across that need in the future.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
in the budget.
it's
During
already-
budget, but that's.
Right,
this is-
exactly. No, I understand that. And that's just what I'm getting at, is that power is there if, say, we're going by the best judgment here, that we try this and this doesn't work, but we realize we could do that in future years. So that's just my understanding of this.
Alderman Massey.
You hit on a beautiful note on an emergency. Well, these are emergencies that we need to get these done. You've had this opportunity, the power to do this. And Alex, I know we've talked about it, you looked in the charter, so I just don't understand the reluctance to go along with what we initially said. We'll hire an outside, this way we won't have that burden any longer. So then, after a snowstorm, the next day, when any of us see there's a problem, we go to you. I know you think this is a joke, but I don't. We've been going on with this for a long freaking time. You wanted to put that in there, and that's not what we initially agreed on. And I would love to make a motion that we amend this resolution.
Yeah, you say we're taking it as a joke. We're not taking it as a joke. The mayor and I are laughing about something other, private, okay? It doesn't mean it's a joke. That's number one. Number two is, I don't have that authority to go hire people. Shoveling somebody's sidewalk, you may declare it as an emergency. The mayor might declare it as an emergency, then I will comply. I'm not declaring it as an emergency. To cut somebody's grass when it is 10 inches high, that's not an emergency.
We're talking about snow right now.
No, we're talking about both. That's what the resolution is.
Well, we can change that part of it too.
Well,
if
you
you'd
can
like.
change anything you want. You guys tell me what you want to do, I'll do it. I'll be
I
happy
thought
to
we
do it.
did.
What do you mean?
I thought we did at the last meeting.
The last meeting, many of
Came
us.
up with what was supposed to be in this resolution. I didn't change it. Anybody in this committee change it?
Well, many people here, they understood it the way it's presented in this resolution, to give me the option to hire either private or part-timers. That's how many of them understood it.
Well,
Alderman Rickerson.
Can I make a motion from the floor to amend the resolution to remove the caveat about the part-time employees and leave it strictly with the hiring of private contractors?
I'll second that motion.
Roll.
Discussion?
Or you-
Discussion and motion to amend? No? Okay.
Do you guys want to discuss the motion to amend?
No, we
Thought
just
we did.
following protocol.
Let's roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Jean Francois.
No.
Green.
No.
Massey.
Aye.
Rodriguez.
No.
What was the vote?
Jeez, you guys are so afraid of them.
3-5.
3-5.
Okay.
We're back to the original motion. Anyone else has anything to say? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
No.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
No.
Rodriguez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, next resolution.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green. Resolution to accept the bid for the construction of 8 to 10 Mulberry Street.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Green, seconded by Alderman John Francois. Any discussion? Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye?
Johnson.
Aye.
Jim Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson. Resolution to authorize the treasurer to transfer $400,000 to make selected vendor payments for work on the parking and Erie Way capital projects.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Any discussion?
Who's this Johnson guy for?
Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye?
Johnson.
Aye.
Jim Francois.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey. President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That's it.
Audit.
Mr. President, I move the accounts be ordered, the claims be adjusted, and receipt treasurer be authorized to issue one for payment.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Massey, seconded by Alderman Johnson. Roll.
Graham Cassoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner. Kleiner.
Alderman-
Johnson.
Aye.
Francois. Green.
Aye.
Aye.
Massey. And President Rodriguez.
Aye.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to into executive session to discuss a particular personnel matter.
Resolution to go into executive session by Alderman Johnson. Do I have a second? Alderman Green. All in favor?
Aye.
We're now in executive session.